Have you ever wondered why, amidst the countless sounds of the world, the pitter-patter of rain on an old tiled roof is the only thing that can reach the deepest cracks of the soul? Perhaps each autumn raindrop from the Paris sky carries more than just the chill of the earth. It is a reminder from the universe. To be filled, one must sometimes learn to be empty, and to find oneself, one needs the courage to vanish. Tonight, we aren't just listening to a story, we are learning to face our own silence. Silence is not the end of music, but a sacred pause for a new melody to be reborn. In this autumn attic, every old letter or yellowed piano key stands as a testament. Pain is merely the dust of time, and love, the truest love, always waits patiently for us at the end of our most peaceful breaths. Before we step into the world of tender nostalgia with Elena and Marcus, I invite you to offer your soul a gesture of gratitude. If these sounds bring you comfort, please gently hit the subscribe button and leave a like as a message to the universe that you are ready to receive healing. Your companionship is the warm flame that keeps this attic glowing amidst the autumn rain, helping us continue to spread these peaceful breaths to hearts longing for solace. And now, let go of everything, for your journey home begins right here. Have you ever wondered why the sound of rain falling on an old tiled roof has the power to soothe the deepest scratches in the soul? Is it because each drop of water falling from the high sky carries a message from the universe? All burdens can be put down and all pain can be washed away. Welcome, soul traveler. You have found a way back to your own stillness. Tonight, I am not just telling you a story, but I invite you to step into a space of absolute tolerance, where time stands still beneath an attic under the autumn rain in ancient suburban Paris. But before we join Elena, Marcus, and Sophia in listening to the heartbeats of old letters, let me help you shed the heavy armor you have worn all day long. Start by finding your most comfortable position on your familiar bed. You could be lying on your back, arms relaxed along your body, or lying on your side like a child wrapped in a fabric cocoon. Adjust your pillow, pull the blanket up a bit so the warmth begins to cradle your skin. Now, if you feel ready, gently close your eyes. Do not force yourself to sleep immediately. Just let the darkness behind your eyeballs become a soft velvet curtain, separating you from the bright lights and the hectic pace of life out there. Our journey home begins with our own breath. You do not need to try to breathe according to any rule. Just let it be as natural as the rhythm of autumn rain on the wooden roof. Inhale a very deep breath. Feel the cool air passing through your nostrils, filling your chest, carrying the purity of the October sky and earth, and exhale very slowly, very long, shedding every remaining thought about work, about bills, or about words not yet spoken. With each exhale, imagine yourself taking off a heavy coat after a long journey in the rain. Now, bring your attention down to your feet, the feet that have supported you through thousands of steps today. Feel your toes gradually relaxing, one by one, they are becoming heavy, sinking deep into the mattress. That relaxation is like a warm sap, slowly flowing back up to the heels, through the ankles, and into the calves. The muscles in your calves that were tense suddenly soften like loose silk ribbons. That feeling of warmth and heaviness continues to crawl up to the knees, then the thighs. Your legs right now are like two silent rivers, offering no resistance to gravity. You feel yourself sinking safely and soothingly. Continuing, bring the stillness up to your hips and lower back. This is where we accumulate the most fatigue. Imagine a warm hand gently stroking your lower back, melting away every knot, every contraction. Your breath has now become deeper, more rhythmic. Each time you exhale, your abdomen and chest become light. Feel your shoulders, do not hold them anymore. Let your shoulders drop naturally, heavy like old maple branches in Paris after an autumn rain. The sensation of relaxation flows down both arms, through the elbows, the wrists, and settles at each fingertip. Your hands are now so empty, so relieved. They no longer need to grasp or control anything. They have completed their task for today. And finally, let this peace touch your face. Relax your jaw, letting your lips part slightly. Let your tongue rest naturally. Those tiny wrinkles around your eyes, across your forehead, let them smooth out like a lake without a single ripple at midnight. Even your scalp is easing, completely at rest. Your entire body is now a unified whole of stillness. You no longer see the boundary between yourself and the bed. You feel light as a silken thread, yet steady and secure as the Earth Mother. You are here, in this room, in this darkness, enveloped by an atmosphere of understanding. You are ready, truly ready to enter the wooden attic in suburban Paris, where the sound of autumn rain is waiting to tell you about the wonders of silence and forgiveness. But before we begin, if you feel your soul refreshed by this peace, remember to come back to support the channel, give a like, and share it with those who also long for a good night's sleep like you. Your interaction is the motivation for me to continue creating these healing spaces. For now, set aside all intentions, all actions. This is time dedicated solely to you. Just keep your breath like that, slower, deeper, and listen to me tell you, about Elena, about Marcus, about Sophia, and about a symphony of autumn rain waiting for you ahead. Now, as your body has become heavy and your mind begins to float like a band of clouds, I invite you to let your consciousness gently leave your current room. Imagine you are flying across silver gray clouds, away from the bright city lights, to land in a peaceful suburb west of Paris. Here, time no longer seems to be measured by numbers on the clock, but by the falling of maple leaves and the changing color of moss on ancient stone walls. Before you is a 3-story wooden house, standing somberly in a small garden. The old maple trees have begun to shed their leaves, spreading a brilliant but rain-soaked orange-yellow carpet over the stone path. You walk lightly, making no sound, towards the wooden stairs leading to the top floor. The higher you go, the fainter the sounds of the world below become, replaced by a melodious song of nature. That is the sound of October autumn rain. You gently push the wooden door, stepping into the attic under the autumn rain. A characteristic scent envelops you immediately, the scent of old pine wood that has passed through many seasons of sun and rain, mixed with the rich damp smell of the earth creeping through the door gaps, and a faint hint of chamomile tea, and the smell of old paper on the ceiling-high bookshelves. The space here is cramped, but extremely cozy, like a safe cocoon protecting humans from the harshness of the world outside. The sound of rain on the red-tiled roof is now so clear. It is not a roar of anger, but steady, patient patter, thud, rhythms like an unending whisper. On the sloping ceiling, raindrops collect at the corners of the glass door and then slowly roll down, creating shimmering water streaks under the pale yellow desk lamp. The light in this attic is very soothing to the eyes. It is just enough to reveal the outlines of objects. The worn velvet armchair, the dark brown upright piano, and the unfinished oil paintings leaning against the wall. You see Elena sitting there in a thick sweater, her face reflected through the misty glass. Beside her are Marcus and Sophia. They are not just characters in the story. They are pieces of the stillness you are feeling. Their presence does not disturb the space. On the contrary, it makes the attic come alive and full of human warmth. Choose a small corner for yourself in this attic, perhaps on the old Persian rug next to Sophia, or leaning against a dusty wooden bookshelf. Feel the gentle, cool air from the window blowing on your cheeks, but your body is warmed by the lamplight and the spreading affection. You are no longer a stranger. You are a part of this rainy Paris afternoon. All the pressures of real life have been completely blocked outside that wooden door. Here, there is only you, the sound of rain, and souls finding ways to heal each other. Inhale deeply this air, thick with nostalgia, and exhale letting your mind be completely ready to listen to the secrets about to be revealed amidst the rain. In the air, thick with the smell of old wood and the moisture of autumn in Paris, the silence between the three people was not suffocating at all. It was like a rest in a long piece of music, where every note is holding its breath, waiting to be played. Elena still sat there, her slender hands resting lightly on the ivory piano keys that had turned yellow. She looked out at the grey rain outside the window, where the bedraggled maple trees were shedding their last leaf. The sound of autumn rain thudding on the red-tiled roof was like a steady beat, a reminder of the flow of time. This sound of rain reminds me of winters in Moscow. Elena spoke, her voice light and thin as a silken thread, dissolving into the space. My mother used to open the windows wide, letting the freezing cold fill the room. She would sit there by the fireplace, knitting and singing lullabies of ancient melodies. She said that rain and snow are not just weather. It is how the earth breathes, how the world sheds its sorrows to prepare for a rebirth. Marcus, sitting with his back against the wooden wall behind, looked up. The light from the desk lamp reflected on his weathered face, highlighting the wrinkles at the corners of his eyes, the traces of years diligently spent at the easel in Florence. He smiled, a sad but warm smile. In Florence, autumn rain has a completely different flavor, Elena. It smells of ripe olives and rich terracotta. I used to climb onto my grandmother's roof, sitting among the old chimneys to paint the cathedral domes misty in the fog. At that time, I felt like a small god, holding time in my hands. Everything seemed to stop, only me and the patches of color. Sophia, the younger sister with glasses that always slipped down her nose, tapped her fingers lightly on the laptop keyboard. She didn't look at the blank white screen, but at her sister's trembling hands. To me, rain is a privilege, Sophia whispered. It forces us to stop. The world outside is too fast, too noisy. Only rain has enough power to make people sit still, listen to their own heartbeats, and do nothing. Sister Elena, why aren't you playing the piano today? This attic is craving your sound. Elena shook her head slightly, her golden hair obscuring her gaze. My hands are too heavy, Sophia. Since the project at the theater closed, I feel the music inside me like a frozen river. I look at these keys and only see a terrifying silence. Perhaps the melody has been washed away by the rain. Marcus stood up. The wooden floor creaked faintly under his feet. He walked to the corner of the room where the towering bookshelf held old manuscripts. He reached out and took down a small wooden box covered with a thin layer of dust. The box had exquisite carvings from the Tuscany region, the brass lock tarnished by time. When he placed it on the piano, Elena shivered slightly. You still keep it? Marcus asked. his voice deep and hoarse. I forgot it was there, Elena stammered, her trembling hands touching the lid. When the lid opened, a scent of old paper and pressed flowers wafted out, gentle and nostalgic. Inside was a thick stack of letters, neatly tied with a sky blue ribbon that had faded. Sophia curiously leaned in. Whose letters are they, sister? Why have they been here for so long? Elena didn't answer immediately. She pulled out the top letter. The paper yellowed at the edges. The slanted blue ink handwriting, strong yet emotional, appeared under the yellow light. Dearest Elena, today Paris is raining again. I am standing under the awning of the Saint-Germain Cafe, watching the water droplets run down the glass and thinking of you. If you were here, we wouldn't need to say anything. We would listen to the rain together, sip the tartness of red wine, and I would tell you about the painting. I am working on a painting where you are the center, standing in a brilliant field of sunflowers under the summer sun, a complete contrast to this rain. Elena stopped reading. A tear uncontrollably rolled down her cheek, falling onto the yellowed paper. She looked up at Marcus, her eyes full of astonishment and pain. Marcus, what is this? Why are these letters here? Marcus bowed his head, his hands clasped tightly. Those are the letters I've written over the past 12 years. The days I was in Italy, the days I wandered through museums, or the nights I stayed awake in a shabby studio. I wrote hundreds of them, but was never brave enough to send. I was afraid, Elena. I was afraid that if I spoke this feeling, I would ruin the only friendship I cherished. Then you met Andre. You seemed happy, and I chose absolute silence. I thought that protecting you from afar was the best way to love. Sophia exclaimed, her voice full of sympathy. Brother Marcus, you've kept this secret for all those years. Elena clutched the letter in her hand, the rustling of the paper clear in the silence. Why are you telling me only now? Do you know how lonely I once felt? I thought I was just an accidental friend in your life, because I was a coward. Marcus looked up, his eyes red but firm. But seeing you collapse before the silence of music, I couldn't stand by. I want you to know that even if the world turns its back, even if the stage lights go out, there is always someone who loves you with the most quiet and persistent way possible. That love is like this autumn rain, not noisy, not brilliant, but it's always there, watering and healing. The rain outside suddenly became louder, like a round of applause from nature for the truth just revealed. Sophia stood up, walking closer to the window to give her sister and Marcus some private space. She saw the Paris street lights misty in the water, feeling half her heart lightened. Sister Elena? Sophia turned back, her voice warm. Do you still hold the pain of Andre? Elena took a deep breath, the scent from the old letter seeming to give her strength. She shook her head slowly. No, that pain has turned into a scar. It no longer aches every time my heart beats fast. But occasionally, loneliness makes it cold. But today, for the first time in a long time, I feel warmth. Not a burning warmth, but a gentleness, like a hand placed on the shoulder. Elena stood up, walking in front of Marcus. She placed her hand on his shoulder, feeling the warm shirt fabric and the warmth radiating from his body. Marcus took her hand, a clumsy but protective grasp. "I keep these letters like I keep my own breath," he whispered, "and now I give that breath back to you." The three of them suddenly burst into laughter, a small and serene laughter. The pressure of the long-held silence had completely vanished. Elena sat back down on the wooden chair before the piano. This time, her hands no longer felt heavy. She pressed the low C key lightly. A round, echoing sound appeared, harmonizing with the pattering rain outside. Then the next key, and the next. The music rose, with no title, no set structure. It was simply the sound of rain being transformed into melody. Marcus took his sketchbook, the pencil gliding swiftly across the white page. Sophia returned to the computer, words beginning to dance under her fingers. In the small attic in suburban Paris, under the protection of the October-autumn rain, three souls had found each other once again. They were no longer lonely artists dying in silence. They were writing a new chapter together, where old letters were no longer sorrow, but seeds for a hopeful beginning. The piano music soared, piercing through the rain, dissolving into the Paris night sky, carrying the promise of a spring that would soon return after the long autumn rain days. As the final notes of the nameless sonata from Elena's hands gradually faded away, the attic did not fall into complete silence. Instead, it was filled with layers of sound. The rain still persistently beating its rhythm on the roof tiles. The scroll of Marcus's pencil gliding across the sandpaper, and the steady, gentle breathing of three souls who had just shed a 12-year burden. Now, I want you to imagine yourself no longer as an observer standing in the corner of the room. Let the boundary between you and this space blur like raindrops blurring on the window glass. You feel yourself floating, dissolving into the thin smoke from the cooled chamomile tea on the table. The image of the dark wooden piano, the yellowed letters, and the faces of Marcus, Elena, and Sophia begin to fade, leaving only warm patches of color. The yellow of the lamp, the silver gray of the rain, and the faded blue of the memory ribbon. Every worry about reality, calculations for tomorrow, or regrets of yesterday are now like the ink lines on Marcus's old letters. They are still there, but they have been understood, accepted, and are gradually dissolving into thin air. You feel your body becoming light, like a maple leaf just leaving the branch, no longer resisting the autumn wind but following nature, spinning and landing on the soft soil. The sound of rain at this moment is no longer an external sound. It seems to be flowing in your veins, carrying purification and cooling every corner of your mind. You feel that you and this parasitic are one. You are the wind whistling through the door gap. You are the warmth from the fireplace, and you are the peace after the hard storm. No one needs to hurry anymore. Nothing needs to be proven. Let your consciousness drift further beyond the red tiles, soaring above the maple trees, merging into the thick fog covering the entire city of Paris. There, all is a gentle silver gray, protecting and cradling. You are dissolving into absolute silence, where the path home is only as long as a very soft breath. Everything becomes vague, illusory, like a watercolor painting just doused in a layer of light rain, fading, fading. Now, as the images of the attic, the old letters, and Elena's piano music have completely dissolved into the silver-gray smoke of Paris, you remain only here in the pure presence of the night. The space around you right now is so still, a vast stillness, like the heart of the ocean, where every sound is filtered through warm and gentle layers of water. You hear nothing but your own breath, a breath so slow it seems as if time has stopped to listen. Inhale, light as a touch. Exhale, soft as the breath of plants at midnight. You are sinking deeper, deeper into the land of dreamless sleep. In this place, your soul is completely free. You no longer carry any name, any role, or any burden. You are only a part of the vast universe, a star resting after a long journey of shining. Feel this peace. It is so thick, it envelops you like a layer of soft velvet, shielding you from every disturbance. You see yourself dissolving into the darkness, and that darkness is not scary. It is a mother's embrace, warm, vast, and full of understanding. Every cell in your body is now letting go in unison. From the top of your head to every tip of your toes, a pleasant numbness spreads. You feel as if you're lying on a buoyant cloud, drifting through the silent galaxy. Today's worries are millions of light years away from you. Tomorrow is also something so distant and unnecessary to trouble over. Only this moment is the sole reality, a moment of rest, a moment of recovery, a moment of return. Let my voice also gradually drift away. Let it become a part of the rustling wind out there, a part of the sea waves cradling your mind. You are entering sleep, a sleep so deep and peaceful as any you have ever had. Let your mind be completely empty, like a pure white room where only the light of peace reigns. You are protected, you are loved, you are absolutely safe in the arms of this night. And when tomorrow's dawn gently touches the roof, bringing a new beginning full of life, if you find your heart healed and your body restored after this sleep, please come back here to me. A subscription, a like, or a share is your way of helping us spread more peaceful breaths to the world out there. But that is a matter of tomorrow's light. For now, just let yourself dissolve into this stillness. Thank you for allowing me to accompany you home. Sleep deeply. Good night. Good night. Sleep now.